Lust rarely announces its arrival with horns and flames. Instead, it quietly steals into your heart, taking up residence where God once dwelled. And the most dangerous part, you often don't even realize it's there until you start mistaking flesh for favor, impulse for intimacy, and desire for destiny. If you're honest, you felt it. That subtle shift when time alone with God becomes less frequent, when prayer feels dry, and when your thoughts drift into places your spirit once fled. Lust isn't always explicit. Sometimes it wears the mask of a daydream, a fantasy, a secret message thread, a glance that lingers longer than it should. It's sneaky because it doesn't need to consume your whole life, just enough of your soul to blur your vision. One sign it's overtaking you is when conviction starts feeling like condemnation. Suddenly, you avoid the word because it feels too sharp, too close, too exposing. But Hebrews 4:12 already warned you the word cuts, not to kill, but to heal. When lust grows, it rewrites truth. You begin to justify sin with softened language. I'm just human, or God understands my struggles. Yes, he understands, but he also calls you higher. Romans 6:12 reminds us not to let sin reign in our mortal bodies, yet many chosen ones secretly hand over the throne and call it grace. Another sign, you start isolating yourself from accountability. You tell no one what you're battling because shame convinces you you're the only one. This is a lie crafted in hell. Even David, a man after God's own heart, fell not because he was weak, but because he was alone, idle, and distracted. 2 Samuel 11. Lust thrives in silence and secrecy. It hates light, hates truth, and hates community. If you found yourself pulling away from godly friendships, small groups, or your calling, it's not random, it's strategic. Here's the most shocking part. Lust doesn't always destroy with a crash it, often erodes with a whisper. It delays destinies rather than detonates them. It makes you comfortable in compromise, content and spiritual numbness. You stop expecting God to move in power because a hidden chain has been wrapped around your spirit, and you've started calling it personality, struggle, or even identity. But Galatians 5:16 makes it plain. Walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. This isn't optional, it's survival. And perhaps the most hidden sign of all is when you begin substituting intimacy with God for emotional highs with people. You crave validation instead of presence, attention instead of anointing. Suddenly, worship is only powerful when you feel it, not when he deserves it. You chase connections that feel affirming, even if they're ungodly. This is not just lust of the body, it's lust of the heart. 1 John 2:16 exposes it all. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, they are not from the Father. If any of this sounds familiar, it's not a reason to hide it, it's a reason to fight. Lust is not stronger than you, but it is strategic. It knows who to target when you're weakest and where you're most unguarded. But the Spirit of God in you is greater than what's warring against you. 1 John 4:4. The question isn't whether you're being attacked, it's whether you'll keep handing over sacred space to a silent thief. If lust has been taking ground in your heart, don't just feel convicted, become militant. Starve it, expose it, replace it with truth, because you cannot carry God's glory and secret sin in the same vessel. The next move is yours. Will you evict the intruder, keep calling it home?